Hello, yes, good morning. So we are on the 31st of January 2018, and as you can see, we are going to take you through the market overview for today, whatever we expect to happen today, and we'll look at like six symbols. We'll start with Euro USD, GBP USD, USD JPY, SP 500, and then Brent oil and gold. So let's start off. As I've said, we'll start off with the main pairs first, the ones which I've just mentioned. So we have the chart on the screen. We have the chart for USD JPY. As you can see, this already loaded at USD JPY. I'm not going to look at this. This is not what we are looking at today. This is what we looked at yesterday. We were looking at dynamic levels. So we'll start off want to see if there's any good level where we're supposed to trade from. And I keep mentioning this level here, so I'll repeat it also today, that there's a level here. So we have a level here, we have a support, as you can see there's a support, a resistance, sorry. Then the same place has been used like severally since this was 2014. 2014 up until today, like prices attempting to break above it. So in my opinion, this is a very good place to look for a sell from. And assuming you attended the webinar we did previously on consideration, this is the best place you're supposed to sell from. Actually, whatever is happening now is just we are going to fetch a good price to look for a sell. So you may want to sell it right where the price is, or maybe if it goes up, your stop loss should be somewhere around the candle. It's somewhere here, and then your take profit should be at the very lower end, which is somewhere around this point here. So we want to confirm maybe daily. We are seeing something else. On the daily chart, there's a level here. We have a level there. We also have a level at this point. And then I'm going to just leave that there. That's the stop loss where we want to put the stop loss. Let me give it a different color. It should be dotted. So you can see with those a support, then we saw that false break. A support, there's a break, then this false break to the upper side. We did take a sell from this point. We want to sell it again if it gets back to the same place. So you're on this chart, then this is still a good sell chart. You're supposed to look for a sell, especially while the price is here. So another view from the monthly point of view is this. From the monthly, we have something like this. We have a level like that. We have a level like this. So we have a level like this, like that. This just a very good support. Price went down, it came back to the same place. And should price come back to the same place, then this should be the correct place to sell from. So basically, we just want price to be rising up to this place so that we can sell it on the longest time frame possible. So I hope that should make a little sense, that we are actually looking for a sell in case the price manages to go above, to come towards this level here. Just a support, there's a break below, price came back to the same place, it went down, and should come back to the same place so that we sell it for the second time. Something like this is likely. So if you're on this chart at the moment, then kindly just look for a sell from around this point here. That's the correct place to sell from. We move to the next chart, which is GBP USD here. And on GBP USD, we are working with this indicator. It's showing us this was a sell. We mentioned that as long as the columns of MACD are below 0, then this is a sell. So unless they break above 0, they successfully, we manage to see now all of them are closing above 00, then that should be a sign that we're supposed to buy. So we want price to whatever it's doing now. If the current week's candle can close just the way it is, then this is a buy signal to the upper side. This is the move we expect in the longest time possible. So I want to add an indicator, this one, average directional movement index. It's also, we have the green dotted line being above the red, which means we have an uptrend, and then this main line is somehow breaking below 25. So we want it to again rise above 25 so that it confirms that we are on the upper side. So I'm not going to add much on this pair. I want to trade it next week. That is, should price ascend beyond 1.3133, it should retrace back. We pick that buy, continue up, retrace, then we pick a buy, something like this, something like that. Something like that. So all this we're supposed to buy, we look for a buy at that point, and we also look for a buy at the very top. So we want to move to the next chart, which is USDJPY here. And on this chart, I hope you can remember this clearly. Yesterday we actually mentioned that this was the place to sell from, and our reasoning was simple. We mentioned that on the daily there was this point here. Sorry, my chart is a bit congested. We had a line there. We said it was a support, broken, price went down, it came back to the same place, and then there were multiple exhaustion. There's this tail, there's that tail. So we took a sell from this point, and yesterday while we were saying that was a sell, we actually looking at price around somewhere here. We mentioned that we are supposed to have sold it from that point with the first take profit here, there, and the next one should be at the very lower end, which is here. So assuming the price successfully closes below 108.77, then that's the correct place to sell from. Look for a sell, wait for a retracement, then you pick a sell from the same point up to 107.65. I hope that should make some sense, that we are actually looking for a sell on this one up to this point here, 107.65. So the main reason I'm selling only up to this point but not up to the lower end is because on the weekly chart, which is this, you can see those are good support. Price went up, we had a support, it went down, a break above, this was like a false break, then a support. So this means that this is a weekly level, and therefore the best place to take profit will be this place here. And should price clearly ascend below it, descend below it, then we'll wait for a retracement back to the same point so that we can sell it towards 104.63. So we'll pick a sell there up to this place, but in case price does not break below this level, then we are still going to look for an opposite, which is a buy in this case towards 114.16. So we want to check maybe 1 hour if there's anything, just for anyone who's trading lesser time frame. If you're doing 5 minutes chart, maybe 1 hour, what are you supposed to look for? So in my opinion, there's a level here. So there's something I need to mention. You may see this line, it keeps shifting, this red lower line. This is actually called, let me give it a different appearance so that I can be able to explain it clearly. Just a second. Yes, you can see it's now green. This line which keeps shifting is actually called ask line. Don't confuse it with the line I'm having on the chart at the moment. I have a red line, and then there's this one which comes automatically. So that shows you the buying price. If you are to buy that pair now, how much will you buy it at? So I want to draw a level there. Apparently I'm not going to use that ask line at the moment. We have that as a resistance, which was broken, a support. Price went up, a support. Then here the price is now showing signs of going below it. So assuming price successfully goes below this point, then we'll wait for a retracement back to the same place so that we can pick a sell, something like that. And on the other end, like I say, if the price does not grow below this level, instead it bounces back up, then we are going to turn our sellers into buyers. So that means a move like this, maybe price goes up, we want it to retrace back down so that we can sell it, we can pick a buy from that point, like that. So either way, either you sell a break below or you buy if it bounces back to the upside. So maybe we add an indicator so that we're able to see. I'm going to add another different indicator here, which is this one, MACD. You can see the columns of MACD are below 00, which means this is a sell. I'm also going to add another one, average directional movement index. We have the red one above the green one, and also the main one is above 25. So all based on these two indicators, there are chances that this level is going to be broken, so that we look for a sell. So what that piece of information means is that just wait for price to break below, retrace back so that you can sell it from that point to the lower side. Sell it up to forward chart. There's a level here. I'm looking at the ultimately 1 hour. This is the place. Give me a second. I delete this indicator. Apparently I've used them now, so there's no point for adding them. You have a support here. We want price to clearly go below this level, retrace back so that we can sell it further, like this. So if you're doing a 1 minute chart, 1 hour chart, then just look for a sell. That's the best thing you should be doing. So we move to the next one, which is SP500 here. So also, just look at what we forecasted yesterday. We keep mentioning a buy on this index, and it's still a buy even as we speak. So the reason we actually bought here was that this was a good support. Price went up, then it went down, a good support. It went up, it came down, a good support, and then we saw that break, and then there was another break back up. So we automatically assumed that this was like a false break to the lower side. So price came down, we took that buy, it went up, came back down to the same place where we bought it, but we didn't get out. So our expectation is that the price should rise from this point up to 2814.4, up to here. So basically just look for a buy here, expect price to move up to 2814.4. Then should price go even higher, then just wait for a retracement back to the same place so that you can pick up. So as it is on this chart, I'm not recommending any sell. I don't recommend any sell because of what this is like a false break. I will only sell if price successfully breaks below 2350.0, which is in the low side. Only if price goes below 2350.0. So this is the correct place I'm going to sell from. Assuming the price does not do whatever I'm saying, instead it goes down, then I'm going to remain flat temporarily, but I expect that the price should break below this level. If I'm to sell, that is, then a retracement so that I sell it. But that sell is not a very good one. Look at this chart from the weekly. Just a second, let me delete this one's here. That's okay. So the reason I'm saying this is not going to be a very good sell is because, as you can see from the past, we've been upwards. This chart has been upwards for the longest time possible. You can just see, like, since this was when this was in 209, just beginning of 209, we plunged down just before 209, and then we've been upwards since. That means for like 10 years now we've just been upwards. So if you look for any trade at the moment, then the best you should do is to look for a buy. And even better if price begins to make even higher highs, like it goes above these places here. Assuming price begins to ascend above these levels, it goes up, then we should be waiting for a retracement back so that we can buy it even higher, like that. So we move to the next chart, which is Brent oil there. And Brent oils, as you can see, this is the chart we had previously. We actually expected a sell from somewhere around here. That didn't happen. You see the price edged higher, retraced back. This was a buy. But I didn't recommend a buy on this. Let me explain why I'm not saying this is a good buy. Why I'm still a bit reluctant to buy it. Look at it from the daily. You can see this was just a good level here. We have a support from somewhere in the past, and then the same support was broken here. Then you see these exhaustion candles. Then price goes down, comes back up. It goes down, comes back up, then it goes down. Then now we are at the same place, and we are yet to break above it. So unless the price can closes above 62.57, this should be a good sell. We are not changing anything at the moment just because the price is going up. No, as long as the price does not go above the zone we have here, 62.57, 62.57 to 62.01, we are actually looking for a sell. We want to sell it towards this point here, 50.88. So we look for a sell there. Expect price to move down towards 50.88. That's what we expect. So if you look at the forward chart, then probably you're seeing a buy, but I don't recommend looking for that buy. Instead, wait and look for a sell on the daily chart. So we move to the next chart, which is the last one, which is gold. And on gold, we have our charts just good, the same way we had them yesterday. So this is what we said, that the price actually ascended above 1310.3 to 1300.98. What this means is that we've actually broken above the place where we were selling previously. A sell, we were also buying from the same place. So while the price is above this level, we want price to retrace back. Then we'll pick a buy from this point up to 1357.28, somewhere around this point here. So you're on this chart at the moment, then just know we are upwards. Only look for buy trades. So I mentioned something, like I think 2 weeks ago, not 2 weeks exactly, it was like a month ago. I did say that, as you can see, if you've seen a normal cap, then mag, something like a mag, if you've used mag before, this one here looks like a mag formation. It can even be ball. Even a ball formation can be. So this is the top, the handle where you handle the ball from, and then this is the curved surface. Then we expect this handle complete itself at the very end before it starts to consolidate, something like this. So expect a move like this in the longest time frame possible, a break above, and then we want to see maybe consolidations around this point here, within this one and then the next one. So this is like a ball, whichever name you choose to call it. Somebody may call it V, somebody may call it a ball, somebody will even call it a cup. But either way, this is like we expect this curved surface, the next one, to go up to the very top, 1357.28. So I think this one stands even for the forwards. Whoever is trading it even forwards, the best they should do is to just wait for a buy position, and that buy has to come from the daily level, which is here. So we check the same commodity, maybe metal. We check it from the least time frame possible. We see if there's any clear trade on it. So for hours we have a level there, and then we also have a level here which price may want to retrace up to. Yes, this one here. We have a level there, and then you also have a level which I'm going to mark it as a zone. And if you listened to our webinar on breakout, then you should already have known by now that anytime there's a resistance, then price breaks above it, like with one big candle emerging from this point up to the very top, then it means there was actually a level here which was being broken. So I expect that level which was broken to start from this point up until this place here. So as long as the price remains above this zone, we still expect a move higher. We want price to proceed even upwards. So this is highly likely. Just know that price is likely to continue upwards as long as it does not go below the lower line, which is 1315.29. So that should bring us pretty much to the end of today's overview. We've looked at basically everything we wanted to look at today. we've checked USD/JPY, we've checked Brent, we've also checked SP 500. Just all the pairs we wanted to look at, we've already looked at them now. So one last thing which I'll mention here, I'll mention this bonus here, the one you are currently on your screen. As you can see, FreshForex is giving like 200% the amount you deposit. So the amount you deposit has to be somewhere close to 200. It has to be at least 500 USD and above. So to qualify for this bonus, just ensure you have this amount. And then these are the simplest procedure here. Open an account, verify personal data, and then enable bonus trading account, which is this or that one, or Market Pro MT4, and then fund your account, and then you get the bonus. So another thing, ensure you read all these terms, and we shall read everything on these pages in case. Read them, everything. So that should bring us to the end of today's overview. We've looked at just everything we wanted to look at today. See you again tomorrow at the same time.